How's it going, everyone? Mufari here. Welcome to Heliopolis Radio. Today, we've been fortunate enough to be joined by Bogdan Chugunov. Bogdan is a specialist in Manuka honey. He has spent quite a great deal of his time studying the therapeutic benefits. He's also utilized it to his own benefit. And so he's here to basically share a lot of information about Manuka honey, and he also sells it as well for those of you that may be interested in purchasing. But first and foremost, Bogdan, thank you for coming on the podcast. And if you don't mind telling us about yourself, where you're from, and what did you do prior to moving into the journey of Manuka honey, if I may ask?
Thank you very much, Mufaro, for inviting me. I am a Ukrainian immigrant living in the United States for 25 years. Unfortunately, after 5 years of my landing to New York, I've been identified positive for cancer. And it was a shock for me, for my family, because I brought to the United States 2 small kids. And it sounded like a crash to my life, because based on my former Soviet Union experience, cancer diagnosis, it means a final notice. But thanks God, it was surgically removed. And unfortunately or fortunately, I don't know, Western medicine doesn't provide much care about what happened after surgical removal. That's why I decided to take everything in my own hands and put in gear preventive medicine. That's actually how I discover several Mother Nature products, foods that people consume on a daily basis, absolutely unconsciously, residing at different parts of our globe, that prevent cancer development. That's how I discovered New Zealand, Brazil, Turkey, Mongolia, and a small portion of Russian Federation, where people consume some products that, considering here in States as a dietary supplements. That's how I found Manuka honey, bee propolis, shilajit, and Siberian cedar oleoresin. And after I successfully try all this product on myself, so now I call myself sometimes a guinea pig, like a laboratory animal to try everything on my own. So I incorporated all these products under my name, Be Magic and Health Republic. If people gonna see that, it looks like that. I brought it to United States, and now everybody can buy it either on our website or Amazon or eBay or Etsy or whatever. And it should be great to understand if people of South African Republic considering natural health. I never been to South African Republic. I just saw many YouTube videos about your countries.
Probably not good ones.
Nevertheless,
not good videos.
Personal visit is a personal visit. I like to know people, because here in States, it's not a secret. People mostly rely on pharmaceutical stuff. They don't know, they never been educated about Mother Nature products. A major motto here in Western Hemisphere is to consume synthetic pharmaceutical stuff as a food. My philosophy is completely opposite. Consume food as a medicine. So tell me, please, Mufara, what do you think your country residents would be interested to stay healthy and live longer naturally?
So that's a good question. The issue is people here in South Africa are relatively health conscious. I think it's because a lot of the modern Western technological, like medicinal practices, like pharmaceuticals and things like that, they came at a much later stage. So people here have always really been connected to the traditional herbs that have there's actually a whole branch, a whole science of people that actually study it. So I think people here are interested in it. It's just that, like you said, I think people are now addicted to chemicals. So it's hard to invest in. Yeah, no, it's true.
Exactly, yeah.
I'll be the first person to admit myself, I'm struggling to also move away from the synthetic type. You know, everything we eat now is processed or it has been chemically altered and it's not natural. But unfortunately, a lot of stores, they don't really sell that. You have to go out of your way to find a health store, and then you have to pay a premium price. So to answer your question, I think a lot of people want to, but it's slightly, you have to be, it's more expensive. It's not financially sometimes feasible for people to invest in their health, which is very sad because I think you mentioned it that there's no value to good health. Good health is more valuable than anything. But unfortunately, I'm sure you've seen videos on YouTube. Not everyone here can afford to have natural products, especially, you know, there's a lot of like getting natural products, sourcing them. You know, people charge more because it's more difficult than anything else that's, you know, genetically modified and easy to send out to people to eat. So I don't know if I answered your question there.
Based on your answer, your country stay very similar to United States on such account. This is exactly the major point. Synthetic pharmaceutical drugs become more cheap, more affordable for people. Same time, one of the major American motto, why fix if not broken, is in effect for a vast majority of United States citizens. Some people still believe that their good health, it's a gift, and this gift gonna last forever.
Mhm.
But when you turn 50 or somebody 45, you start recording a lot of stuff that was not typical for your health or for your behavior or for your stamina when you were 35. I found it's a real borderline when you turn 50. In 49, you were perfectly performers of sex. You can run 5 miles. But after 50, at 51, a lot of question mark raised. That's why I have my own experience. That's why I'm talking the truth based on my own. I know there are many people that can produce kids in 70s, but we are talking about majority people. Many people don't understand why their digestive system start malfunctioning, why they got stomach ulcer, why they got acid reflux, why they got dysbacteriosis or broken microbiome. They don't understand that. They go to doctor and doctor said, sorry, your age, your switch turn off. You should go to cemetery and searching for nice spot. Oh, really? That's bring a very sad mood in American minds. Not American, just say now we are similar. So everybody minds. So really, genetically and naturally, I am worthless after 50? And some honest doctor says, yes, you are. But people here working until 65, their life just started after 65 when they got retired. I don't know about your country retiree age. Maybe 65 too, maybe less.
Oh, no,
For instance, in
unfortunately.
Russia, it's just 60.
Unfortunately,
So,
here, sorry to cut you off there. Unfortunately, here, people can work way into their even late 70s because of the economy is not so good. So it's not the same as the West, but yeah, you'd be surprised how long people here work and how long they sustain families. It's incredible.
you're absolutely right, Mufaro. You're absolutely right that everything natural coming with premium price. Here in Brooklyn, where I live, it's a very rare, or let me say impossible, to buy real natural potato. You can continue this line of vegetable or fruits. Cabbage, onion, zucchini, name it. No way to buy it. That's why 3 years ago, I purchased my land upstate New York, and I started a small farm. The reason
That's really
was
good.
to provide my family with real food. Real food. That means no chemicals, no fertilizers, just what God gives us. Water, rain, or snow. Compost, it's a natural compost. That's it. Indeed, it involves a lot of physical labor. It involves a lot. And I'm 58, not the young person, but the rewards, amazing.
Wow.
I ate potato that I didn't try for 25 years here in the United States. That's a real potato. I
Yeah,
ate real
incredible.
zucchini. I ate real cucumber and cabbage. I even forgot what their tastes are. I did it my own by myself. And when I counted how much gas, how much toll bridges I spent to drive to my farm and from my farm, I do believe my potato is covered with gold.
Wow,
So
incredible.
that's actually another topic of conversation. If
100%.
your audience gonna reach you telling Mufaro, we need to continue talking to this guy and to listen him, we can start another meeting. But
100%.
today, I try to touch a topic of natural health. Again, who can afford it? And me, as a guinea pig, I try to provide not only products, but a solution. Because every naturopath, every holistic or integrative medicine practitioner knows product require consumption protocol. For instance, a lot of people make a major mistake consuming Manuka honey as a honey. They put Manuka honey in tea, coffee, in a smoothies, and this is no. Because as soon as Manuka honey touches water, it
Becomes toxic.
converts into disaccharide, which is white sugar. All medical, medicinal, therapeutic properties evaporated immediately. That's why 3 major active ingredients, dietary methylglyoxal, dihydroxyacetone, and leptospirine, must be consumed and absorbed in our mouth by working saliva. Only. That's why 1 teaspoon of Manuka honey must be rotated in your mouth as long as you can. And you should swallow only the liquidish that a result of reaction with our saliva. That's how Manuka honey works. That's what I try to deliver to audience, to public, because a lot of people now try to make money to squeeze profit from name Manuka. That's why you can find Manuka honey on the shelves of supermarkets. Unfortunately, I have to tell you, that's not real Manuka honey. Or let me say, probably Manuka honey presents in a jar, but not 100%. That's why it's important to understand rating system. Rating system are also confusion because there is scientific rating and proprietary rating. You can tell my rating is Mafara 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. What does it mean, Mafara? Oh, Mafara 6 is more stronger than Mafara 1. Well, that's logically supported. But what Mafara 6 is, it doesn't matter. Just pay my money. And there is a scientific grade, like dietary metalloglyoxal weighted in milligrams per 1 kilo of honey. That's rating I employed in the production of my honey. I purchased Manuka honey on auction in New Zealand in drums. It's approximately 400 kilos. And this drum is unique. It never been before. It's never gonna happen after that. And I fly to New Zealand packing facility and to pack this Manuka honey over there. And watching from my own eyes that nobody diluted, mix it or blend it with anything else. So if I purchase on auction 430 kilos, I have to get 430 kilos packed.
So Bogdan, sorry to
That's
cut you
very
off there.
important.
I just wanted to ask you two questions on that because you brought up two interesting things. So first and foremost, I know what is Manuka honey exactly? What separates it from any regular honey that you could go get from your beekeepers? What properties of Manuka honey, the therapeutic aspects that are beneficial to health? And then also, is it only located in a specific region in the world? You mentioned New Zealand. Is it just New Zealand where Manuka honey is harvested, or are there any other regions in the world in which it's accessible? So just those two ones. What's the distinct aspect of Manuka honey that separates it from the regular honey, and then also its location and access? Those two.
Very reasonable questions. Manuka honey produced by bees in New Zealand by collecting nectars from plant known to scientists as Leptospermum scoparium. In common word, it's Manuka bush. It's not a tree, it's a shrub. I visited, I drive all New Zealand from north to south, and I saw different sizes of Manuka bush, but they are all the same. And in 2006, at Dresden University, this is Germany, Professor Haley discovered finally what makes Manuka honey a Manuka honey. Why Manuka honey stays separate from all other honey on the globe. It's a concentration of metalloglyoxal. No one honey in the globe concentrated so much with metalloglyoxal, which is responsible for our immune system. Some theory is such property become available at Manuka honey because of a volcano ash, which is a soil for Leptospermum scoparium. Because, you know, a lot of smart people can buy or take seeds of Leptospermum scoparium and plant this plant in their own land. And such experiments been already done. Chile, Argentina, of course, China did that. But the result, absolutely different. Their bees do produce honey from these flowers, but there is no such property as real Manuka honey. And indeed, real Manuka honey does exist only in New Zealand. Regardless of the fact, some smart businessmen now put on the market a lot of Manuka honeys. You can see Australian Manuka honey. You can see Israeli Manuka honey. I am joking around. Maybe we're gonna start selling Brooklyn's Manuka honey. Everybody can call now their honey Manuka honey, because Manuka honey, it's not a branded name. It's a specific kind of honey that been collected from Leptospermum scoparium. A lot of similar looking plants do exist on Tasmania Island. They grow in Australia, but DNA of these products are different. That's why I stick with original, real Manuka honey. And I do bring to United States only high grade of Manuka honey, like 550 or 850. Yes, it's expensive, but people should understand how much they have to consume. For example, Manuka Honey 80 that sells widely in supermarket provides only small amount of dietary methyl-glyoxal. Manuka Honey MGO 800, 10 times potent. People should understand Manuka honey is not a sweetener, it's a medicine. Versus 1 teaspoon of Manuka Honey 800, you should consume 10 teaspoons of Manuka Honey 80. It's a simple math, but same time, can you imagine how much sugar you have to consume with 10 spoons of Manuka honey versus 1 teaspoon of Manuka honey? 10 times more. And people, some people, staying familiar with math, already make their calculation to buy higher grade of Manuka honey is more economically profitable than to buy a lot of Manuka honey with cheaper grade. But I do lecture at adult daycare centers here in New York. I'm telling people, I'm educating them how to consume Manuka honey and how to understand Manuka honey. I do teach them about another beehive product, antibacterial natural product, bee propolis. I am not sure how your country's people aware about such Mother Nature gift as bee propolis, but I do. And if someone listening right now, your podcast, it should be great to start our business cooperation, to become our distributor.
So, Bogdan, you bring up a lot of very, very important points there.
Oh, yeah.
There are 1,000 questions I could ask, but to make it, for time and everything, there are two that I'd actually like to ask. So, you mentioned that there's they're very regulatory body. I think in the United States, it's the FDA. Why do they allow people to brand their honey Manuka when obviously it doesn't follow all those scientific definitions that you mentioned prior in terms of its origin and it's the chemical composition that it has versus other types of the same bush? Why does the FDA allow people to sell products like basically fake Manuka honey at the expense of the consumer? And then the second question I was going to ask on top of that is, in terms of your wholesale of the product, do you ship it outside of the United States or do you only sell local? So just those two.
Okay, that's great questions. I've been confused myself how it's possible to see legal counterfeited Manuka honey on American store shelves. and I make an inquiry to FDA, and FDA answered me in 30 days. FDA, which is Food and Drug Administration, is not controlling what stay inside the jar. So far, people bring to United States honey. FDA doesn't care what kind of honey. You can put anything on a label. You can put whatever you want on a label. Manuka honey, Shmanuka honey, Kanuka honey. Nobody from FDA controls composition, what is inside. That's a sad story because it's not under control and because it's not under jurisdiction of American FDA, unfortunately.
Mm-hmm.
That's why we have what we have. And answering your second question is, yes, of course, we sell our product worldwide. We have customers from Swiss, Germany, Japan, South Korea, Kazakhstan, Canada, name it. What we don't have customers yet, it's a South African Republic. I don't know why. We got customer even from Egypt.
Wow.
And until 2020, we got a partner pharmacy located in Lagos, Nigeria. And because of COVID, you know what happened? Something
Yes.
happened. And the owner of the pharmacy told me we have some kind of problem. That's why they stopped buying that. And based on my record, they used to sell 60 jars a month.
Wow.
So there is no problem to ship our product as a wholesale packages or individual packages to anywhere.
Okay.
Our website, if you permit me to sound it,
No, I definitely.
www.beemagicusa.com. So easy.
And so thank you. I'm definitely gonna put the link in the bio in the video when I release the video so that people can actually access the website. This is maybe an out of there question, but obviously I know today's world, people are very environmentally conscious. So I know there's certain plants here in South Africa that are protected. You can only have so much activity happening. So I'm wondering, in terms of the bee population that harvests or that actually gets the Manuka honey, is there any threat to that in terms of their safety, or are there things in place that are preserving the sustainability behind harvesting Manuka honey, or is it something that's still maybe a gray area? So I don't know if I asked that right, but is it safe to say that the harvesting of Manuka honey is not under threat from affecting the population of bees or anything like that?
Oh no, absolutely not. Manuka bush, not farmed plant. Manuka bush is a wilderness plant. It grows on 400 feet above the sea level on a volcano ash. And if you're gonna visit New Zealand, you're gonna see that all flat land converted to pasture because the major export commodity is a wool. That's why New Zealanders, as they call themselves Kiwis, have a huge herd of sheep, and they do produce wool and lambs, meat. That's why they destroy Manuka bush, because Manuka honey is not their primarily source of income, and only selected people make business with honey. Unfortunately or fortunately, another unfortunate point is the entire New Zealand produces approximately 1,700 tons of Manuka honey annually.
Sheesh.
Why such so small amount? Because Manuka bush blooming only for 3 or 4 weeks per year.
Oh,
Only. So the entire 11 months, there is no collection of Manuka honey. And another miracle is only United States market consumes approximately 15,000 tons annually. So if you put 1,700 tons on the left hand and 15,000 tons on the right hand, you got this mismatch math.
Mhm.
It's not possible. That's actually the answer. What kind of Manuka honey you can buy at supermarket?
Mhm.
Unfortunately, it is. It's a fact. So, my dear people, my dear podcast listeners, be aware. Do not buy Manuka honey at supermarkets if you want to get medicinal effect from consumption. If you want to have mental effect, yes, you're gonna say, oh, I consume Manuka honey. Oh, I'm healthy now. If it works for you, God bless you.
Wow. No, thank you for mentioning that. And, obviously you mentioned Brie propolis as another one and Shilajit as another one. Are those equally as viable? So let's say if someone can afford Manuka honey because of price. I myself have personally tried Shilajit. Unfortunately, I was an idiot.
Wow.
No, I was an idiot because I mean I do like I'm also I think maybe what me and you have in common is I love to research alternative medicine, all sorts. But what I did find is that here, unfortunately, they sell Shilajit in capsule form. So you can't get it in this actual, you see, and that is terrible. That's terrible. You need the original Shilajit, which is rich in humus, it's rich in fulvic acid. But then I also heard stories that a lot of people, the products of Shilajit that are out there are also not proper. It's not the actual Shilajit, even if it's the tar version, even if it's the. So I was just wondering, what alternative other than Manuka honey would you recommend, which is perhaps more affordable and equally as safe without too many fake counterfeit goods behind it?
That's a great question, Ufaro. Let me say, Manuka honey stay absolutely separate from everything else.
Mhm.
And let me say, Manuka honey has dual applications, internal and external.
Mhm.
If you like, I'm gonna send you and anybody else who shoot me email a clinical trial reports about skin application to heal skin ulcer with Manuka honey. As well, I have a clinical trial reports to kill Helicobacter pylori in our stomach. And
Wow.
Helicobacter pylori, it's a first stage of ulcer. And ulcer and ulcer is a first stage of a cancer. That's why Manuka honey stay separate from bee propolis. Bee propolis mostly carrying antibacterial and prevention medicine properties. 4,000 years ago, ancient Egyptian put bee propolis on a cloth and wrapped their mummies. And after 4,000 years, when our archaeologists opened their tombs, they found saved bodies,
Sheesh.
not corrupted with mold, not corrupted with bacteria. This is
Wow.
amazing. So history of usage bee propolis come down to prehistory period. That's why I personally consume Manuka honey with bee propolis extract. There are a different information about how to distinguish bee propolis, how to understand what potency of bee propolis specifically you want to accept or you want. Bee propolis belongs to prevention medicine. I do consume it every day, 30 drops, because I try to live longer cancer-free. But some people have no family history of cancer. Unfortunately, I have such history. My grandmom, my grandmom, my mom all died from cancer.
Sorry to hear that.
That's why I think I have not a good DNA in my blood. That's why I try to think about my health in advance.
Yeah.
If you have some listeners of your podcast who has the same problem or who think about their life prolongation, I would recommend to use bee propolis with Manuka honey. Shilajit, it's a completely different animal. Shilajit is as old as 60 million years old. What is Shilajit? It's a decomposed prehistorical cactuses. 60 or 64 million years ago, when our Earth, called Pangaea, was inhabited with dinosaurs. That's actually why you can see dinosaur on Shilajit flyer. Everything was upside down. It was a different composition of air. North Pole was South Pole. Everything was different. Solar radiation was different. Everything was different. So cactuses were like baobabs. And because of some cataclysmic events, these cactuses been put inside a mountain and let me say preserved. And because of tectonic actions, it was opened and closed, opened and closed. If you can imagine 60 million years, I can't, but it's a long period of time. So they accumulated a lot of macro and micro elements and preserve them. That's why real Shilajit provides such value to human beings, to provide with 84 traces of macro and micro elements. How it works? I used Shilajit when I broke my leg. If you want, I can provide my X-ray before I admitted to hospital and after. Now, unfortunately, I am working with 9 titanium screws and titanium plate in my left leg. It was 2 fractures event, so now I am sort of a cyborg. But my doctor told me, Bogdan, because of that, you're gonna start walking over 6 months. It's a serious injury. You're gonna be healed, but it takes time. I said, I'm sorry, it's no way. It's a June. I have to work on my farm. And we met over 6 weeks. A doctor made an X-ray and said, this is impossible.
Wow, incredible.
All your broken bones being welded. And now I can see a seam of this wellness. How you did that? I said, well, I consumed 1 gram of Shilajit every day with warm water. And he asked me what Shilajit is. And I lecture him exactly the same, only longer that I do
Wow.
today. And he said, wow, our colleges never taught us about such Mother Earth product. And after that, I start drilling deeper. And I found it's not true. Universities in United Arab Emirates, in Australia, made clinical trials. And what they found? They found tremendous healing effect for people having some problem with mind. They restore people memory. So now I can recommend to read these articles published in scientific magazines and to make your own decision. I do recommend to consume 300 milligrams of shilajit every day for people after 50.
Mhm.
It stopped aging process. It supply you with necessary macro and micro element, and it stopped osteoporosis. So not only cognitive health shilajit provides, but bone health,
Mhm.
tissue health, and every time when you, God forbid, experience any surgery to heal 6 times faster, I do recommend to drink shilajit daily. Honestly, it smells awful.
Okay.
Honestly, it tastes awful. That's actually why, again, smart people inserted shilajit in capsules, but they forgot that convenience is always versus effect.
Mhm.
Shilajit, as well as Manuka honey, must be absorbed in our mouth. That's why real shilajit must be dissolved in a small amount of water. I use 50 milliliters, just a vodka shot. It's a very common size. Put it overnight. Overnight it dissolves completely, and you drink it in one shot. Yes, I close my nose because it's a really stinky stuff, but it's a price I pay for my health.
And so
So,
if you have the capsules, then they're virtually useless unless you could you put those in water as well, or is there no point even consuming them?
Mufara, my philosophy, my brand philosophy is to consume everything raw.
Mhm.
Unfortunately or fortunately, I know how capsules produce. If you're gonna see how this powder gonna be inserted in capsules, you're gonna learn how much temperature treatment been provided to make powder
Mhm.
from real shilajit. Temperature kills 80% of goodness,
Mhm.
but people still believe, people still like to accept convenience. It's stinkless, it's very convenient to put in your mouth, drink water, and people believes it helps. Maybe, but 80% of all effect gone.
Mhm.
That's
Thank-
why my philosophy to consume everything as raw as possible. With bee propolis, it's a different story because raw propolis does not absorb by human body. We don't have enough temperature in our body to extract all good properties from bee propolis.
Mhm.
That's why bee propolis required and conductor, which is either food grade glycol or alcohol. I have two versions, 15% water soluble on glycol and 30% on alcohol.
Mhm.
It depends what kind of immune system person would like to improve. 15% water soluble for people suffering from respiratory diseases, permanent colds, sniffs, flu, coughing, or digestive health. For digestive health, it's a 30%. It's more potent. But let me tell you and your audience again, be careful. Bee propolis is allergenic product. Before consumption bee propolis, you have to be sure you don't have allergy on bee products. What I do recommend to put 1 drop on your skin, stir, and wait 10 minutes. If you don't see any reaction, you are allergy-free and you can start consuming bee propolis. As soon as you found you are allergic, there is no propolis for you anymore. I'm sorry. And statistically, every one person from 1,000 carries allergy to bee products. So now I sound like a doctor, but I am not.
No, no, everything that you've provided, again, has been very, I mean, there's things that I've learned today that I honestly did not know. And I'm not a thing, but I do like to research a lot on the products, and that actually, because of time sakes, I know I don't want to keep you too long, and you have your data tend to, obviously you mentioned it, but just for the listeners and viewers again, your store, how can they access it? What type of products do you sell on it? And I know you already answered questions about shipping, so I think that's clear. But again, so that the listeners know your store, its name, and the product offerings that you have.
If we are talking about individuals, I would recommend first to visit our website. And there is contact us button on the bottom. I do recommend to contact directly and to briefly explain what kind of health issue you would like to fight with, and I'm going to recommend what to buy. If we're talking about distributors or wholesalers, like a pharmacy or health food stores owners, it should be good to set up our relationship and to provide any available support to start a distribution point in South African Republic. Because I do believe every country has people who do care about their health naturally, not pharmaceutically.
Wow, no, thank you. And last but not least, how would you describe the importance of good health to the audience? A lot of people, they hear that, but maybe perhaps they don't value it as much. But how would you describe the importance of good health?
Oh, Mufarad, that's a very big question. Do you think we're gonna fit a frame of your podcast answering this question? That's
If we
another
could.
topic of my lecture. It's a very philosophical question, and I can talk hours about that.
I
That's a
know.
lecture of my for my adult daycare centers, because some people, they don't have aim anymore, and they live, let me say, by inertia. They think they reach everything. Their kids grown up, they have no real connection to their grandkids. They have dwelling, they have food, they have nothing to fight for. I do. That's why I try to understand how many people, what's the percentage of population would like to live longer. What kind of people are willing to be in hospital, tubing, breathing by machine, becoming a cyborg, to living their last days. I don't want that. I saw that. When I found myself on the surgical table at the hospital, I've been scared to shit. I said, God, if I'm going to survive this operation, this surgery, I'm going to do everything I can to live as long as possible in healthy body. I don't want to be a vegetable. If you can afford to live as a vegetable, God bless you. But I don't want to be a vegetable. I don't want to be a burden for my kids or for my grandkids. I like to be a witness on my grandkids' weddings. I like to swim ocean with my grandkids. I like to go hunting and fishing with my grandkids. I like to live life in full. If you, my dear listeners, would like to follow, I do recommend to start taking care about your health naturally now, not from Monday, not from first day of a month, not after New Year, now. Real estate in United States of America commonly reads as a dwelling. I try to convince people that real estate is you. Invest into yourself, into your body. Like Orthodox Jewish community leader says here, no coffin has pockets. You cannot bring anything with your body. So live here while you alive. Enjoy life. Be a live person, not suffering from any sicknesses and illnesses. Be active. Drink wine. Love your partner. Travel. Be healthy. Live longer. That's my motto. That's my message to you, my dear podcast listeners and Mufaro.
Bogdan, that is very well said. And obviously, now we're just slightly out of time, but I would like to just thank you for coming onto the show. It'd be good to have you on again. I'm hoping that people will get access to your product line, and they'll actually take value from the information that you've shared. Again, there's so many things today that I learned that I actually really didn't know. So thank you for bringing light to that.
No problem. We can schedule next meeting. You can schedule anytime. I'm open.
It'll be good. No, it'll be really good to have you on. And yeah, I just want to say thank you. And again, for those of you that don't know, I'll list his store in the description. And Bogdan, it'd be great to have you on again. And thank you so much.
See you. Bye-bye.